We are live, unoriginal FC, back in the cut. And listen, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the lazy narratives. Yeah? The lazy narratives, listen, I'm killing them today. All this talk about Lamelo Ball's not a winning player, rare tear. Like, DJ, when will it end? Like, you lot not tired, like. You lot regurgitate the same old tired narratives because you lot don't know nothing about basketball. Now listen, I'm making this video off the back of some nonsense videos coming out from quote unquote basketball analysts, basketball reporters, such as the likes of what's dude's name from ESPN? I don't even remember his name, but also I don't even want to even give him the gratitude of mentioning his name. And what's the other dude's name? Sam Vecini? Whatever his name is, right? Once again, I see two of these guys, one working for ESPN, another one apparently a accredited basketball reporter. You wouldn't think so, listen to these guys talk basketball. I don't know where these lot get their credentials from. Their credentials are fugazi, right? But these guys came out and said, well, especially the ESPN guy, just came out and said, yeah, Lamelo Ball's not a winning player. His defense is atrocious. I don't think he's serious about winning. The same old nonsense we always hear when it comes to Lamelo Ball, right? Now listen, if you're down on Lamelo Ball because of his injury, because of his injury record over the last, since he's been in the league, really, year one, he played most of the games till he got a wrist injury, but still came back. Year two, he actually had a real healthy season. I think he only missed games through like COVID and stuff like that. Obviously, year three, year four, it's not been great. You've seen it, right? And if you're down on Lamelo Ball, you can't trust Lamelo Ball because you don't know whether he's going to stay healthy or not. That's valid. That is valid. That nobody can deny. Because availability is the best ability. We all know this. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you're not on the court, it doesn't matter. So I understand that. Believe me. I'm never going to jump on somebody, right, for not trusting or not believing in Lamelo because you don't believe he's going to stay healthy. It's valid. It's completely valid. And I've said multiple times, whether it's been on lives with my fellow Lit House members or past videos I've made, I've mentioned this multiple times. I also believe this year is a make or break year for Lamelo. He needs to stay healthy. This is me, a massive supporter of Lamelo Ball. I'm saying this because I understand how important this year is. I understand how important it is for him to remain healthy, right? But this tired narrative we keep coming with, these people from ESPN and wherever else. What's the other one with them Boston guys, Barstool and Bill Simmons and all these bums, guys who you can tell were never good at basketball, were never good at anything. They were just athletically limited, athletically a shambles, right? These men have the audacity to talk on the sport like bro, like you see me, yeah. You see my pet peeve in life, yeah. Especially when it comes to sports discourse, right? You see, if you're some fat fuck, you're just somebody, you could take one look at, you could tell they've never played any sort of sport to any sort of decent level, right? Don't even look like they take care of themselves with their health. Like, don't even take care of their life. Like, their lifestyle's probably a shambles because they're, like, you eat whatever. Like, bro, when you talk on sports, bro, and these lot are out here talking crazy, I just look at you crazy, I'm thinking, who are you? Who are you? And I get it, everybody can have opinions. But a lot of the times when it comes to Lamelo Ball, these are not opinions. Well, they are opinions. But they're opinions covered in bias. Right? These narratives we hear about Lamelo Ball not being a winning player, Lamelo Ball atrocious on defense, Lamelo Ball, he's just a stat padder, a clown show, a circus, he's a show pony. Right, he doesn't care about winning. He just cares about Instagram and being famous and having money and having cars, and all of this is rooted in the fact that all of these scouts, all of these analysts, all of these people that a lot of the masses look to for their basketball opinions were wrong about LaMelo Ball. They were wrong. And because they were wrong, this is what they do. Once they're proven wrong, they're never going to admit they're wrong. No, they'll just shift the goalpost once more. Right? LaMelo Ball was never... Well, no, I knew he was going to be as good as he was. But they never expected LaMelo Ball to be this good. They genuinely believed this guy was never going to make it to the league. They said he was never good enough. ESPN left him out of their top 100 ranked high school players. By the minute he touched Spire, everybody could see this is top 2, top 3, at worst, top 3 best high schooler in the nation. Because of who his pops is, because of what the Ball name represents, there is a sinister hate for this young man. There's disdain for him. And they don't ever have to admit it. Boy, it's very obvious. It's very obvious. From when you can see a kid that talented, right? And when he, at the age of 16, 17, you're saying, nah, this kid's never going to make it. He's never going to make it. You saw him score 92 points in a game. And they say he was never going to make it. Cool. And then you know what LaMelo Ball did? You know what LaMelo Ball did? He said, forget your shady-ass college system where nobody's even getting paid. Bro, you know what? I'm one of one. I'm going to choose my own path. I'm circumventing the whole American recruitment circuit. I'm circumventing all of that. I don't care. I'm going to Australia. I'm playing overseas. And I'm so good that I'm going to go overseas and midway through the season playing in Australia, man are talking about this could be the number 1 pick. Yeah. I didn't do your NCAA nonsense. I didn't go your bullshit college route. No. I took it upon myself to forge my own path. And that absolutely destroyed the gatekeepers of basketball. You think it didn't burn them to see somebody as marketable as LaMelo Ball going overseas? Could you imagine LaMelo Ball playing for a Duke, a Kentucky, a USC, with the name he has, with the brand he already built, with the brand his family already built? Could you imagine how much money the NCAA would have made out of him? The gatekeepers are furious. And these are where all these narratives are rooted from. This is where all this bias and this hate is rooted from. They despise the kid. They truly despise the kid. He's come into the league, Rookie of the Year, All-Star. Yes, injuries have hampered him. But even when he has played, right? When he was fit and healthy, for you to say he's not a willing player when the Hornets have only ever had in the last the majority of the last decade, you've only had 2 or 3 winning seasons. Right? I believe 2 winning seasons. One coming with Kemba when you went to the playoffs, and then the other 2 going to the play-in. One of them where you won 43 games with LaMelo Ball being the driving force. At the age of 19, 20, 21 maybe? So for you to say he's not a winning player is disingenuous. Because we've seen, with a large enough sample size, when he has been able to play 60 plus games, 70 plus games, the Hornets are a fringe playoff team. And that was with a team that consisted of a geriatric Gordon Hayward, an inefficient midget in Terry Rozier, and a bunch of guys who just didn't know their roles. Guys who are not even in the league no more. Theo Maldon's in France now. Brad Wanamaker, Ish Smith. Was it JT4? Was it Jalen McDaniels who went to Toronto averaging 1 point a game? This is who LaMelo was working with. And when he was on the court, you were a playing team. Is that not a winning player? Is that not a winning player? See, because he circumvented the traditional route, because you already wrote him off before you even gave him a chance to show what he was. Well, I mean, he'd already been shown what he was about before you even really gave him a real chance to show himself in the circuit. You lot wrote him off. You said he'd never make it. You left him off your top 100 high school list. And then to rub salt in the wounds, he cost you lot millions upon millions not going a college route. And so the powers that be have had it out for Lamelo since day dot. Not to mention his father is LeVar Ball. We already know the league has it out for him. So please, Hornets fans, when you lot listen to these takes, supporters of Lamelo, when you lot listen to these takes, take them with a pinch of salt. They're disingenuous takes that don't come from real objectivity. That don't come from people that actually even know the game of basketball, if we're keeping it a buck. You can't tell me these people have watched more than 2 games of the Charlotte Hornets in a season. That's probably the only games that the Hornets get televised. They're probably the only games that they watch. They ain't watching the Hornets. And listen, I ain't blaming them for not watching the Hornets. The Hornets have been a trash product for years. I get it. But don't speak on what you don't know, because you don't know shit. You don't know shit. You don't know a damn thing. See, Lamelo was so good once he came into the league that they had to eat their words. They became embarrassed. And see, when these gatekeepers, and the gatekeepers I'm talking about are the likes of Sam Vecino, the likes of these ESPN guys, the Bobby Marks and the whatnots, the guys that always come out to shit on Lamelo Ball. These are the gatekeepers. These are the guys that brainwash the casual fans. The guys that don't watch enough games. The guys that just watch box scores and highlights and Twitter highlights. These are the gatekeepers who brainwash the masses, right? And see, when these gatekeepers are proven wrong, like I said earlier, they don't admit that they're wrong. They shift the narrative. They shift the goalpost. He won Rookie of the Year, was an all-star, right? Now because he's been injured and the team hasn't done well, everything going wrong with the Hornets because of LaMelo Ball. He's not a winning player. He's not a franchise guy. He can't, he doesn't care about basketball. That's how they shift the narrative. It's dangerous. This is what they do. But it's the same tired old narrative they've been repeating for the last 4 or 5 years. It's tired, it's lazy, it's disingenuous, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Another thing they've now come up with. Oh, we don't believe that LaMelo Ball's game's going to translate in the playoffs. What? What about a 6'8" point guard with genius level playmaking ability, with elite shot creation ability? What about that kind of game is not translating in the playoffs? What about a player that when the set dies, when the play breaks down, is the ultimate game breaker? What about that is not translating in the playoffs? See what they've said now is, he could be a lot like Halliburton. No. Do not disrespect the LaMelo Ball by comparing him to that scrub Tyrese Halliburton. Because let me tell you something about Tyrese Halliburton. If you guys watch Tyrese Halliburton's games, those of you that have watched Tyrese Halliburton and watch him as a player, his game didn't translate to the playoffs because he's never been able to create his own shot. He's never been able to. His handles are whack. So if you have trash handles, that means you can't get to anywhere on the court. You can't get to your spot on the court. And if you can't create your own shot, well, of course you're gonna struggle in the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, teams win because they have elite shot creators. That's how you win championships. That is how you win championships. It's how you win championships. Right? The talk about LaMelo Ball being an atrocious defender. Listen, LaMelo has his struggles on defense. Right? But the way they talk about Lamelo as if he's a non-factor, as if he doesn't even try. Lamelo Ball tries on defense. What's the one thing us Hornets fans, right, have always lamented? We've always lamented the fact that Lamelo is in fact too eager on defense sometimes. Picks up a lot of fouls because he's trying to steal the ball. He's trying to get up on somebody and be aggressive, right? Yes, Lamelo Ball gambles on defense, sometimes to the detriment of the team. Yes, we understand that. But to say he's a non-factor, that he doesn't even try on defense, like he's Luka Doncic is somebody who doesn't give a toss on defense. You never hear them say nothing about Luka's defense. Nothing. Luka literally gets picked on defense. In the playoffs, when teams need a bucket and they're playing the Dallas Mavericks, they go out of their way to find Luka Doncic to get the switch on Luka. That is somebody who doesn't give a toss on defense. That's somebody who doesn't even try on defense. Granted, he's a magician on the offensive side of the ball and his team wins. Kudos, but you never say nothing about his defense. Lamelo Ball can never be accused of not trying on defense. Is he a bad defender? I'm not willing to say he's a bad defender. I think Lamelo Ball is an average defender. I don't think he's a great defender, but I'm not going to go as far as to say he's a bad defender. I've seen parts of a season. I've seen, especially in that second year where you actually had a somewhat competitive team, I saw Lamelo Ball clamping down on defense sometimes. Not for long periods, but he can do it. He can be very tenacious on defense. He can be very aggressive. But Hornets fans that watch the Hornets know one thing you can never accuse. Well, actually, can I say that? Because there's a lot of Hornets fans that low-key hate Lamelo Ball. Hey, we ain't going to go in. That's a different topic for a different day. But the objective Hornets fans that actually know the game of basketball, that actually analyze the game of basketball, actually understand what their eyes are showing them, right? Lamelo Ball can never be accused of not trying on defense. He can be accused of gambling sometimes. He can be accused of being a bit too tenacious on defense, which leads to him picking up fouls. But not trying on defense, that's a dangerous and lazy narrative. But it's what we become accustomed to now with Lamelo Ball. It's just people fear what they don't understand, and unfortunately, Lamelo Ball is somebody. Actually, not unfortunately. Fortunately, Lamelo Ball is somebody that they don't understand. They don't understand what Lamelo Ball is. Lamelo Ball is an absolute maverick. What he does on a basketball court, there's very few players in the league today that can do what Lamelo Ball does with a basketball. His game is not manufactured. His game is not manufactured. He's not a plant. He's not something that the NBA built up. Right? No, he's completely organic. His game is organic. He doesn't practice with NBA players in the summer. He learned all his moves playing video games. And he's this cold. This is a maverick. This is something you can't understand. Those that don't love basketball, those that don't love the purity of basketball, can't understand what LaMelo Ball is. And unfortunately, that's a lot of the gatekeepers in the media, around the league. They fear what they don't understand, and they fear LaMelo Ball. And that's the crux of it. They fear LaMelo Ball. And because they fear LaMelo Ball, they go out their way to diminish him at every single point. Even if he proves them wrong, don't worry. We'll shift the narrative. We'll shift the goalpost. So we can never be wrong. That's how they do you. And that's how they're doing LaMelo Ball. I'm sick and tired of the narratives. And as long as I'm here, as long as the Lit House is here, bro, we're killing all the lazy, trash basketball narratives. We're creating our own narratives. The game of basketball is a game of the people. These people you listen to on ESPN or the flipping Barstools, all these stupid mainstream accounts and corporations that brainwash them, they don't love the game of basketball. They're not of the people. We're of the people. The game of basketball belongs to the people. And this year, 2024, 2025, we are bringing our own narratives. We're switching the narrative. We're creating a narrative because the game of basketball belongs to us. And LaMelo Ball, to me, signifies more than anybody in the league today the purity of the game of basketball. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Unoriginal FC, over and out.